Good morning. I'm Steve Walford from the Oasis site. Years ago, we used to sing a great old song, How Lovely Is Your Dwelling Place. And many of the words of that song are drawn from Psalm 84. One of the lines in the song was, "One day in your presence is far better to me than gold, or to live my whole life somewhere else." And you know, it's one thing to sing lines like that in a glorious worship time together, to punch the sky, to feel and declare words from that psalm, words like, "My heart and flesh sing for joy to the living God, and no good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly." It's another thing to feel it and declare it on a drab Wednesday morning with the pressures of this week and this season upon us. It's moments like this that test the reality of the words of that song. One day in your presence is far better to me than gold, or to live my whole life somewhere else. And we can sometimes be tempted to think, is that really true? A bit of gold might solve a number of these issues. Or maybe I just need a fresh start somewhere else, a Greek island perhaps. Well, the Message translation of the Bible got there before you. It says this, and it is a translation: one day spent in your house beats thousands on Greek island beaches. Why is there that gap between what we know is true as God's children and what we sometimes feel? Well, two possible reasons I just want to bring to that. One is that we tend to overrate, idealize and romanticize our escape routes. You know, Greek islands are great for a bit, but you know, they still have wasps and mice and spiders, dodgy plumbing, unusual music playing all the time, drunk British holiday makers, plastic on the beaches. It's still like that. But then these verses aren't talking about holiday destinations, are they? It's rather asking the question, when things are tough, if we don't head to Jesus and pour out our hearts to him, where do we go and who do we go to for comfort, help, relief and strength? And so often, sadly, we make the same mistake as God's people did in the Old Testament. We read in Jeremiah 2:13, it says this: "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water." Instead of going to the fountain of Jesus Christ, we often, for some peculiar reason, choose to go to smelly, dirty, stagnant pools. How can we be so foolish? We need to wise up. And Hebrews 5 verse 14 defines the mature as those who have their powers of discernment trained by constant practice to distinguish good from evil. And we need to constantly practice keeping on coming to the fountain, to the presence of Jesus, rather than going elsewhere to that which will not fully satisfy. The other thing we tend to do is not only overrate our escape routes, but we tend to underrate the effectiveness of coming to Jesus compared to other quick fixes. I don't know if you've ever had the experience of idolizing someone from a distance, but then you actually meet them or you hear something about them and you realize they're not what you thought. That is so disappointing. And it's true for everyone, really, for all of us. The closer we get to someone, the more we see their flaws and their faults. Jesus is the one exception to that. He's the one, the only one that the closer you get to, you realize he's better than you thought. He's actually more beautiful, more pure, more glorious. And the wonderful thing is he doesn't push us away. He invites us to come closer still so that we can find all that we most deeply need in him. He is a kind, generous, good, and merciful Saviour. And if at times he does seem to withhold a good thing that we think we need, it's because he wants to give us something better, something that we really do need. And the final verses of this Psalm 84 just highlight what some of those things are. I do encourage you to check it out later, but it speaks of God's provision, God's protection, and his blessing. So my encouragement to all of us this morning is let's pull away. Let's use that constant practice to pull away from other offers of escape that are so overrated. And let's come to Jesus, the fountain of life, and let our heart and flesh truly sing for joy to the living God, the one who withholds no good thing from those that love him. God bless you. Have a good day.